Hi, it's John here from the Nailschool.co.uk. Today I'm going to look at brush sizes. I do get asked a lot, what is the best size brush to use for acrylic nails? Now obviously it's a very personal preference to the size of your brush that you use. So let's have a look. I've got three brush sizes here, and acrylic brushes. One is the size 10. Size 12, which is about the one that most people tend to use, and we've got size 16. Now a lot of people, when they do a course, quite often they buy a kit when they do the course, and they usually get given a size 8, which is smaller than a size 10, and that's going to make it very difficult for you to do acrylic nails. A size 10 is fine, but a size 12 is better. It just gives you a bigger area to use on the nails. Of course, a size 16 covers even more area of the nail. So I'm going to do a nail here. First of all, I'm going to use a size 16. So I've got a tip fitted onto this little stand here, and I've got my acrylic liquid, I've got my powder, and I'm just going to place that onto the nail and just pull it down the nail a bit. Now I'm just going to take some of the moisture out your brush and then just stroke this down the nail like that. Now the bigger brush is really nice to use in that it does most of the work for you. So we just want to get some onto the arch. I'm just going to take a bit of moisture out that brush. I'm going to place it on the crossover here, dry my brush, and then just look at the sides, and then going from the back, just drag down the nail, but you must go from the back. And that will give you a nice smooth finish on the nail there, because it's a big brush. Now I just want to just put a bit onto the tip. So I'm just going to put it onto here, wipe my brush, just push in at the sides here, make sure it's even around the nail, and then just brush that backwards into the tip. Don't let any go underneath the nail. Now it's winter here in the UK, so I am using a winter acrylic powder, and I'm also using a fast dry monomer. It's EMA, of course, not MMA. I just want to go back to the back now and just place that at the back before, dry my brush, then go from behind and just come down the whole nail to achieve a smooth finish. Make sure we get into the edges here. And there's our finished tip. Obviously on a real finger you'd have skin at the side, so you must make sure you don't get any onto the skin. So you can see that is quite a really nice finish. Nice and thin at the ends, thin at the back, and we've got the arch in the middle. Now I've got my size 12 brush, and it's pretty much the same kind of situation. Just going to wet my brush all the way through, take the liquid just off the tip of the brush, pick up my acrylic powder, place this just near to the back, leaving a small gap, wipe the brush, put the brush behind the acrylic and come down the nail, keeping the brush nicely laid down so you've got a very smooth stroke of the brush. Now you can see it's obviously picking up a lot less acrylic now, so you do have to do a few more steps really. Pop it into the middle here, and sort of like leave it for a couple of seconds just to polymerize. And then, because we want it to be a bit thicker here, so I'm now going to come down the nail again, keeping a very flat brush so we can build our arch. I'm going to get a smaller amount, pop it onto the end, wipe the brush to take the excess moisture out, pat that round, and then just backwards into the rest of the nail. Now I just want one more over the whole nail, back to the back again, wipe the brush, put the brush behind and come down the nail. There's our acrylic application. Now, what we don't want is a big thickness at the back. We want it reasonably thin at the back and then not too thick on the front. But obviously it needs to be strong enough to hold the tip onto the actual finger. You want it higher here so that when you look at it from the side you've just got that curvature all going on across that nail. So that's with the size 12 brush. Obviously once you've finished with your brush, even if you put it down for a few minutes, or just make sure you wash it off in acetone. Now I've got my size 10. Now a size 10 brush can be useful. I don't use it very often. I usually use a size 12 or the 16, but a size 10 can be very useful. And of course you can get a size 14 as well, which is between the 12 and the 16. So if I'm going to do this, but the size 10 can be useful if someone's got really tiny nails, which does happen sometimes. So I'm just going to wet my brush again, pick up on one side of the brush, pop it near to the back, leaving a 1mm gap, wipe my brush both sides and put my brush behind and just drag down the nail, making sure that that brush does not bend and separate. So now I want my arch, so I'm going to put this onto here and I'm going to place it about here, and at this point when I'm doing the arch I'll kind of like leave it for just a couple of seconds for it to polymerize and form like a little circle on its own, and then I will then come down the nail, because what's happened, it started to dry and it will leave it slightly thicker in the middle. But you must brush from the back, not from where the bead is. Now I want to put the piece on the end here, wipe my brush, pat this out, and then brush backwards with the brush kept laid down into the nail. Now I'm just going to put one more at the back now, just to do the whole nail. There, wipe my brush both sides and then just come down the whole nail to achieve a really smooth glass-like finish. Now if you can get this kind of a glass-like finish, then there's very little filing to do afterwards. You could almost use a white block just to go over, and then it's ready then for the gel polish or whatever you were going to do on it. So as I said, brush sizes are very much personal. You just get the size that suits you best. Now what you must do is pay the right price for a brush. It's no good spending very little on a brush. You've got to buy a good brush. These were about £22 each, and this one was about £20 as well. So don't think you can buy a brush for like £5 or something and expect it to do the job. And never, as I said before, never try and work with the size 8, because you'll make your life very hard. Size 12 is the most popular. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you've got any questions at all, you can just inbox me either off the Facebook page, or you could inbox me through the comments boxes below. I do like this winter powder. It really is good with the fast dry. It just dries that a lot quicker, but still gives you time to actually use the product, and it doesn't run all over the place either, which can be a real problem when you're first starting to learn how to use acrylics. So this is John, just signing off for now, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye for now.